Something is happening right now, and whoever guided you to click on this video, I need you to stop for just a moment. Take a breath. Because the message that is coming through for you today, it is not a coincidence. There is someone out there who has been sitting in a very uncomfortable truth, and that truth has everything to do with you and the silence you chose. They misread it. Completely. And now? They are waking up to the weight of that mistake. Stay with me, because what the cards are revealing today is going to validate everything you have been quietly feeling inside. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to this collective reading. If you are here, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. I want you to take a moment before we dive in, close your eyes if you feel called to, place your hand over your heart, and just set the intention that whatever message is meant for your highest good will find you here today. This space is sacred. This reading is for you. Now, as always, this is a collective reading, which means the energy I am tapping into is broad and wide. Not every single detail will apply to every single person watching. Take what resonates deeply with you, leave what does not, and trust your own intuition as we move through these cards together. The right message will land in the right heart. It always does. Let us begin. The very first card that came out for this reading is one that stopped me in my tracks the moment I pulled it, divine timing. And I want you to really sit with that phrase for a second, divine timing. Because this is not just a card about waiting. This is a card about the invisible machinery of the universe quietly working behind the scenes on your behalf, even when, especially when, you cannot see it happening. The energy I am getting around this card is one of orchestration. Like something has been carefully, deliberately arranged. I keep getting this image of threads being woven together, thin golden threads, almost invisible on their own, but when you step back and look at the full picture, there is this extraordinary tapestry forming. And you, my love, are a central part of that tapestry. What this card is telling me about your situation is that there was a reason your silence fell the way it did. There was a reason you pulled back, that you stopped explaining yourself, that you let the quiet speak on your behalf. You may have wondered in those moments, did I do the right thing? Did they think I stopped caring? Did my stillness push them further away? And the answer the universe is sending back to you right now is, your silence was not a mistake. It was actually a divine setup. A recalibration. A necessary space that had to exist so that the person on the other side of this situation could finally hear themselves think, and hear the deafening absence of you. There is a shift happening right now in the energetic field between you and this person. Something is moving. Something is unlocking. And this card is the universe's way of saying, the timing you thought was wrong is actually exactly right. Keep trusting the process, even if you still cannot see the full picture yet. Now we move into the second card, and this one carries a heaviness to it that I want to handle gently, because it speaks to something very real that this person has had to confront within themselves. This card is about the biggest mistake. And I want to be clear, this mistake was not yours. The energy here is entirely pointing toward the person you are thinking about. There was a moment, or possibly a pattern of moments, where this person made a choice. They chose something else. Someone else. A distraction, a situation, a comfort, an ego-driven decision. They put something or someone above the connection they had with you. And in doing so, they slowly, unknowingly, began dismantling something precious. Something irreplaceable. What I am picking up on right now is that this person did not fully register the impact of their choices while they were making them. There is almost a sleepwalking quality to the energy here, like they were operating on autopilot, on habit, on assumptions. And one of the biggest assumptions they made was about your silence. They saw you go quiet and they told themselves a story. Maybe they convinced themselves you were fine. Maybe they told themselves that your lack of protest meant you were not invested. Maybe, and this is the part that the universe really wants you to hear, they mistook your dignity for indifference. They thought because you did not chase, you did not care. They thought because you did not beg, you had moved on. They thought because you held yourself together, you were not breaking on the inside. And now? Now they are living in the wreckage of that assumption. Because what they eventually came to realize is that the most caring, emotionally present, deeply invested person in this situation was the one who went quiet. You were not silent because you did not care. You were silent because you cared so deeply that you refused to diminish yourself by pleading for what should have been freely given. The regret around this card is palpable. I am feeling it in my chest right now, this sinking, hollow kind of regret that comes when someone realizes they had something extraordinary and they took it for granted. They are sitting with that weight. And they absolutely know, it was wrong. The third card that came through for this reading is one I love with my whole heart: you have evolved. And Spirit is being very emphatic about this one right now. Very emphatic. I am hearing the words, do not minimize what you have survived. Because here is what happened while this other person was out there making their mistakes and misreading your silence, you were growing. You were in the fire, and instead of being consumed by it, you let it refine you. You let the pain teach you. You let the uncertainty deepen your self-awareness. You came out the other side of this experience not as a wounded version of yourself, but as a more whole version. A more discerning version. An emotionally intelligent, grounded, powerfully awakened version of who you always had the potential to be. Card 4 is where the energy of this reading begins to shift in a really significant way, and I want you to notice how you feel in your body as I describe this card, because your physical response to this message is going to tell you a lot. This card is about the reigniting of a flame. The returning fire. The rekindling of something that never truly died. I am getting chills as I describe this, which is always confirmation for me that Spirit is really present with this message. What I am seeing is that the connection between you and this person, it did not go cold because the love disappeared. It went cold because circumstances, choices, and miscommunications smothered the flame temporarily. But underneath all of that, the embers were still there. Still glowing. Still warm. And Spirit is saying that right now, in this moment of divine timing, those embers are being breathed back into fire. This card speaks to every dimension of love being rekindled. Not just the surface level affection, not just the nostalgia, not just the familiarity. Every layer. The deep soul recognition. The intellectual connection. The emotional intimacy. The spiritual resonance. All of it is stirring back to life, and not in the way it was before. Not in the old pattern, not in the old dynamic. Something new is forming from the ashes of what was. Something cleaner. Something more conscious. I am hearing a channeled message coming through right now, and I want to share it with you as honestly as I can receive it. I did not realize what I had until I felt the absence of it. It was not until you stopped reaching out that I understood how much I had leaned on that. On you. On the steadiness of you. I told myself that I was the one holding things together, but it was you. It was always you. And when that was gone, when I could not feel you in the space anymore, everything felt different. Off. Wrong. I kept waiting for it to feel normal again, but it never did. Because normal, for me, has your presence in it. I am sorry it took me this long to say that. I am sorry I let my own confusion become a wall between us. I want to find my way back to you. I just do not know yet if you will let me. The fifth card in this reading is one that speaks to the spiritual dimension of this connection, and I think this is where the reading gets profoundly deep. This card is about the universe aligning this bond. Your person feels spiritually connected to you. And that is not a casual statement. That is not something to brush past. There are connections in this lifetime that are simply different. They operate on a level that logic cannot fully explain. You have likely felt that with this person, moments where you thought of them and then heard from them. Moments where you dreamed of them before something significant happened. Moments where being in their presence felt like coming home to yourself rather than arriving somewhere unfamiliar. That is not imagination. That is a genuine energetic thread that exists between two people whose souls recognize each other. What Spirit is showing me is that this person has been experiencing this connection strongly lately, particularly in moments of quiet. In the evening, before they fall asleep. In the early morning before the noise of the day begins. In those in-between spaces where the ego goes quiet and the soul speaks, they are thinking of you. They are feeling you. They are wondering if you feel them too. There is a spiritual awakening happening within this person that your silence actually catalyzed. When you stopped filling the space, they were forced to sit with themselves, and in that sitting, they began to feel the weight of what is real for them. Not what they convinced themselves was real. Not the story they told to justify their choices. What is actually, undeniably, soul-level real. And what is real is the depth of what they feel for you. I keep seeing the image of someone looking up at the night sky and just knowing, not through logic, not through reason, but just knowing in the bones of them, that something unfinished is still very much alive. That is your person right now. Staring up at the infinite and feeling the enormity of you in it. Let me bring through one final channeled message before we close, because Spirit has been nudging me to share this for the last several minutes. I keep coming back to you in my thoughts, and I have stopped fighting it. I think for a long time I convinced myself that I was the one who was right, the one who was justified, the one who understood what was happening between us. But the more honest I am with myself, the more I realize I was explaining away things I did not want to face. I told myself your silence meant you were fine. I told myself that if you really cared, you would have said something more, done something more. But that was me making you responsible for my comfort. That was me taking the easy way out. The truth is, I knew. I always knew how much you cared. I just did not want to face what that meant, what it would require of me. I am facing it now. I am not sure what that looks like yet, or if it is too late, but I want you to know that I see you. I finally, truly see you. And I am sorry for every moment I let my assumptions speak louder than my heart. If that message is for you, receive it. You do not have to respond to it right now. You do not have to do anything with it immediately. Simply let it settle where it belongs. As we close out this reading, I want to leave you with something that I hope you carry far beyond this video. You were never invisible. You were never too quiet, too still, too reserved. Your silence was never weakness, it was one of the most powerful things you ever did. It asked nothing of anyone. It simply allowed the truth to rise naturally to the surface, the way truth always does when the noise stops. The universe has been working on your behalf this entire time. Behind the scenes, in the unseen spaces, in the divine timing that does not always match our own impatient clocks, something has been weaving together in your favor. And the cards today are confirmation of that. They see that now. They see you now. And the fear of losing you permanently is sitting heavy in their chest. I want to speak to something important here, though, because while it is meaningful that this person is finally waking up to your value, you are not obligated to receive that realization in any particular way. Your evolution, which we talked about in the third card, has given you the gift of discernment. You get to decide what you want. You get to decide if you want to open a door, leave it closed, or simply wait and see what the universe continues to reveal. Your worth is not dependent on this person's recognition of it. Your worth has always been whole and complete, with or without their acknowledgement. But for those of you who still hold love for this person, and many of you do, I can feel it, know that the recognition coming through in this card is genuine. It is not manipulation. It is not strategy. It is the authentic dawning of someone who has been asleep beginning to truly see. And now we arrive at the seventh and final card, and Spirit has been building toward this one this entire reading. Your person feels nostalgic lately. Love no longer feels like control for them. This is the card that tells me something has genuinely shifted in the internal landscape of this person. Because nostalgia, real nostalgic longing, does not just live in the mind, it lives in the body. It lives in the way a familiar song can stop someone in their tracks. In the way a certain smell can transport them back to a memory so vividly it feels like they are living it again. In the way they reach for their phone and think of you before they even consciously decide to. The universe has been working on your behalf this entire time. Behind the scenes, in the unseen spaces, in the divine timing that does not always match our own impatient clocks, something has been weaving together in your favor. And the cards today are confirmation of that. You have evolved through this. You have grown stronger, more grounded, more at home in yourself than you have perhaps ever been. And whatever comes next, whether this person finds their way back to you, or whether the universe has something even more aligned waiting around the corner, you are ready. Not because everything is figured out, but because you have discovered something in this season of silence that no one can ever take from you, your own unshakable worth. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Thank you so much for being here today, beautiful souls. If this reading resonated with you, please leave a comment below. I love hearing from you and your responses help this channel reach more people who need these messages. Give this video a like if the card spoke to you, and subscribe if you want to receive more channeled readings like this one. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. You are so deeply loved.